joy because we are made to live in joy. And it's not about being the victim and about suffering all the time, because that is what I experienced quite some big periods in my life. And I think everything just all together made me prepare for this path as a human archaeologist.
Hello, everyone. Elle Ballard is here today with my friend Patricia. Hi, Patricia. Welcome.
Hi, Elle. So nice to be with you today.
Yes, it's so great to have you. I'm so excited for this conversation. So it's going to be so interesting. Patricia is joining us all the way from Germany today. So Patricia is a human archaeologist and success architect who empowers professionals to unlock their full potential. With expertise in eliminating all kinds of stress, building clarity, and deepening inner connections, Patricia helps professionals overcome unconscious beliefs and achieve success and well-being. A seasoned educator and international best-selling author of Corporate Dropouts, Patricia has been featured on over 30 podcasts and hosts the show Magnificence. Through personalized guidance, she inspires remarkable transformations, enabling clients to navigate life and career with confidence and ease. I love that. Welcome, Patricia.
Thank you so much for having me. I can't wait to dive into our conversation.
Me too. Share with us, please, what led you to this path of doing this work, and then later on, I want to dive into this deeper, the meaning of the work. But initially, just what is it that attracted you? Maybe some story that connects to how you started on this path.
What an interesting question. And that is the first time that a couple of new thoughts just popped up. Just,
Oh,
I always love when this happens. I could tell you I was a former educator and teacher, and then I stopped because I didn't like the system, and my body guided me to change and to get out of the system. All my stories, all my experiences, that could be the experience of being a former teacher and teacher's trainer and climbing the career ladder, but also relationship experiences which were not the nicest one, health issues which were not really the funniest one. All those experiences and childhood experiences, I think they are so meaningful and were so meaningful to lead me exactly on the path that I'm on. Biggest desire, and it is like a mission to really help people see their magnificence, their brilliance, so that they can live in happiness, in joy, because we are made to live in joy. And it's not about being the victim and about suffering all the time, because that is what I experienced quite some big periods in my life. And I think everything just all together made me prepare for this path as a human archaeologist and success architect, because I feel there is so much that is possible in
yeah.
so many ways that people might not even see.
So beautiful. I love that. I love that. And that said, now I want to dive deep, and thank you, by the way, for sharing that and just really tapping a little bit into your story and how you started this journey through your personal story. Now, human archaeologist, I love that name, and it's just it's beautiful, and there's something magic about it to me. And magnificence, yes, makes sense, right? Can you tell our listeners what it entails?
Well, I was looking for a name of what I do. And so I told you that I was a teacher, and I think it feels like I did 1,000 deep apprenticeships. And then I always thought, it's not a coach, it's not a mentor, it's not a guide. What is it? What is it? I'm so much of a wisdom seeker. I'm so much of someone who wants to dive deep into what a person is, who a person is, pierce the persona, and really dive into the depths. That is like digging deep into the roots, and then maybe
Yes.
grabbing something that looks dusty and then just blowing the dust away and seeing, oh, that is magnificent. That is part of who someone is. And so I thought, like, that is the work of an archaeologist, digging deep into the earth, digging deep into humanity, into a person, and seeing what someone could not see before we did the work. And it is uprooting the brilliance of someone from deep inside so that they can shine on the outside.
So beautiful. I love that work. I love what you do. Yeah, amazing. Thank you for sharing that. What is the modalities? Because I know you use some of the modalities as part of this work too, yeah?
All the modalities are tried and tested because
Yeah.
initially I did not learn them to become an entrepreneur. I just wanted to discover and uproot all the stuff inside myself and heal myself. I started doing ancestral healing. That was the starting point.
Mhm.
Which makes a lot of sense for a human archaeologist. The lineages looking into epigenetics, where we come from, what we get from our ancestors. And then I loved the information, I loved the deep wisdom, I loved the techniques and the modalities. But I always had this big doubt, and that is really part of my genetic coding.
Mhm.
I always doubt things, and so this took me to the next and the next and the next. So amongst those many modalities is logosynthesis, which is a big one, and I want the world to know about logosynthesis because that is the first and the one and only modality or model that I do not doubt. It is helping people to get rid of blockages, fear, future fantasies, old stories, past trauma. And this is connected to the ancestral teaching, of course. Then I did a lot of, and I still do a lot of creative work with people I work with. That could be improv theater or painting, soul collaging, to discover aspects that they were blind to and to bring out the best in them. And then there is human design and gene keys, which I added as one of the last. And there are many more, but this would be too much to talk about all the modalities. They are
Yeah.
the most important and the most intensive ones. I added this maybe 5 years ago
Mhm.
because I wanted to learn more about the deep energetic blueprint of people. And
Yeah.
first, I thought maybe that is putting people into a box.
Mhm.
But then I discovered that is helping them opening up to so much more, getting them into a state where they totally embrace who they are.
Right. Exactly. I love that. I love that work because I think maybe before them knowing they are sort of in a box
Yeah.
because they're boxed by society and everybody like you have to do this. But I think you helping them, uncover that and having awareness who they are brings possibilities and opportunities and maybe that focus and clarity to where they need to go. I love that. Thank you for sharing that, and I'm looking forward to doing our podcast soon as well. You have been building this beautiful business through your own discovery and through your own journey for several years now. What would be one of the main lessons that you learned in your journey of building a business?
You are so right, Elle. There are so many lessons and so many trials and errors.
Yes.
So many testings and figuring out that it doesn't work and that's not the way it is meant to be. So my biggest learning is that I need to rely on myself and that I need to be in alignment with who I am,
Mm,
um, so that I can support people best. Because whenever I wanted someone to support me, and I'm talking about those cookie cutter approach coaching, business coaching things, it felt like I need to dim my light because they told me, you need to say so and so. And that just reflects or refers back to the name of Human Archaeologist. I was told that this is not a name to choose, because that is what people won't understand. You need to say either coach or CEO or executive something. And I need to wear the color of my business and never wear pink, never wear red. So why do you wear red? Because
Look,
I am
we're wearing pink and red right now.
love radiant
I
color.
love, yes.
I always wanted to be someone who they wanted me to be. And I always felt like that is depressing. I will never succeed. And I didn't have this thriving business. It was more of a struggle. And the more I invested into business coaching and following those approaches, the less it was fun and the less happy I felt. And so I think that is my biggest learning. It's all about discovering, doing the inner business, getting to know who you are and seeing what makes you stand out and what makes you, and what is your job in this world. How can you contribute with just the person you are?
Yeah, I love that because I think it's so important and so key to everything that we do. And
Yeah.
I think it's so easy and something that we've been programmed always to do, right? Starting school, we kind of followed and we keep following what other people say. And there's so much information coming at us from different angles. But I think it's just so key to go back. And I know in my own journey, I can definitely relate to when I was in alignment with who I am, and learned that, and now that I know, like I feel it in my body, when I'm thinking of something to bring, something new to bring, it brings me smile. Like if I know if it brings me smile, even we're not talking anything funny, but it brings me smile, my body is in joy. I know this is the work I need to be doing, right? Because that talks to me. Yeah, I'm so glad you shared that because it's just so important to
Yeah.
remember that.
Wonderful that you say exactly the same thing, that you talk about the body,
Hmm.
that you feel it in the body, and that when you feel happy and when you feel happy with what you come up with, and
Yes,
you don't take anything from somewhere, someone,
yes.
then it is going to be a success and it is going to help lots of people.
Mhm. Yeah, and that's so amazing. And that's where the answers are, right? It's just so, so amazing, interesting. But it also, like I had to do to go through what you were discussing through to get to that understanding.
Yeah.
Um, what that means for me and how that looks for me. So beautiful. I love this. This is Empowered Global Women podcast, Global Women in Business podcast. And by the way, we will share all the links for Patricia. Please connect with her because she's doing an amazing work. And I know speaking about inner alignment and understanding where we're going, for me, sometimes it's depending on who we are as a person, and that's the work you do, right, to really help people narrow that down. And for me as a reflector, sometimes that's a challenge as well because of the messages that come at me, and sometimes it's hard to for those people who don't know what I'm talking about, the human design, the reflector is one of the what you call it, sides of the human design
Type. Yeah.
profile. Mhm.
Types.
Types, one of the types of human design, and it's just interesting. Anyway, it's one of the modalities, one of the fields. Uh,
She's one of the special ones because there is only 1% of the population that is reflector. That means fully open when it comes to energetic spaces. I don't want to talk about really specifics, but
yeah.
that means that you get it all. You get it all in all aspects of life. You get it all, what comes to you, and you have the ability to reflect it back. But the flip side of the coin, that is sometimes as a reflector and someone who has lots of open spaces or open centers, and you have all of them open, it is so much that comes our way
Yes.
And you need to really figure out how to handle that.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Yeah, and that's why I think it's just so important that you said that inner alignment, and for me, I've realized it's so important to feel like myself and to check in myself, is this something? And then I get that confirmation, and that's how I know. What does it mean for you to be a woman of the world in business?
That is one of the most amazing questions I've ever heard. First of all, I think it is such a great time to ask this question because I feel there are so many shifts and changes in business, and talking about women and talking about the feminine aspect. And that is not just in women, but as a woman, I feel being a woman, and I feel it is such an honor, and I'm full of appreciation for everyone who is a woman of the world in business, because now is the time to tweak it. And I think I'm part of what is going on, and that is what it means to me, especially changing business into a direction where there is more balance, where there is more support, where there is more sisterhood. Um,
Yes.
and also brotherhood if you work with men, or just
Yes.
supporting each other and raising the vibration of everyone. It's not about just using the elbows or competing with each other, forcing, so which are all those masculine aspects. That is what came to my mind first when you asked the question. For me, that is giving my feminine energy into the
Yes.
world of business and making a contribution in a way that the world is a softer, a more peaceful one, a world that supports and loves unconditionally.
I love that answer. It's so beautiful. And I so agree. I love seeing women stepping up to their potential and doing all this beautiful work like you do. And just I celebrate them through this podcast. We celebrate them in our community of Women of the World Network. And I love seeing that because I'm passionate about like helping women get to that abundance, holistic abundance in all areas. And we are in the enlightenment age, so this is a perfect, right? Perfect time to do that and to be that. So thank you for saying that. Totally agree on the feminine energy. So now to finish up, I like to finish with rapid fire questions just to add some fun. And there are five of them. And
Yeah, and I hope I can answer them. I'm getting a bit nervous.
yeah, the first one is, what is your favorite book name? And you can share any book name or any book that you may be reading right now, or the first book that stands out for you.
No, what comes to my mind is Neville Goddard. And I don't recall the exact name because he has so many books, but it is definitely worth checking out Neville Goddard. He talks about manifestations in a very different way and shines so much light on all those biblical stories so that I understand what was meant by a biblical story. It's not something for a religious person, it is really understanding the energies behind manifesting.
Beautiful. I love that. I think I have his book. I'll have to check that you mentioned it. I'll have to check the author's name. Thank you for sharing. Awesome. Beach or mountains?
Beach,
Favorite international destination to visit?
New York,
Ooh. Summer or winter?
summer.
Okay, and the final question is things that you have discovered about yourself recently.
I'm totally worthy, and I know a lot and I can do a lot for others. I don't have to doubt myself and question myself. I'm okay just the way I am.
Yes. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Well, thank you for playing. This has been such a great conversation. I know we can really expand on this topic, this beautiful topic,
Yeah.
but everyone who is listening, connect with Patricia, and I'm looking forward to be connecting with you soon as well.
Yeah, I can't wait to have you on my show. And it was such a pleasure that I was your guest today. I'm so grateful for having this deep conversation with you.
Thank you. I'll speak with you soon. Thank you so much.